which is we'll all start together. I'll talk at you a bunch, and then we'll split out into Faith 201, which is 7th grade, Faith 301, which is 8th grade, so that the pastors can talk about anything specific for you guys that they want. But we're going to go ahead and get started so we can keep this thing moving, so we can get you guys on with your Sundays. Basically what we're going to do is kind of walk through the packet that I just gave you guys. Just kind of make sure we're all on the same page before everything kicks off. Obviously we got about 2 more weeks till confirmation class actually starts, but we just want to make sure we're all on the same page before we get everything kicked off, especially for those of you guys that have not had a kid go through this yet, or even if you have. We made some changes in the last couple of years, trying to straighten everything out, get everybody on the same page, so just making sure we're all kind of clear on where we're at before we get started. So, if you want to, you can grab that packet that I mentioned. It's in there. There should be like about 4 documents in there. There'll be a packet, there's a release form, and then there is a calendar. That release form, just make sure you guys sign that and get that back to me at some point, as well as the covenant, which is on the last page. We'll talk about that more in a second, but those 2 documents I do want to have back from you at some point, soonish. Just before confirmation, a couple weeks into it, whatever works for you, just get those back to me so that I have them. So we're good to go for anything we might do. So is there anything you want to add before we get started? Good?
No.
Good. All right, I'll just keep going then. We'll just keep it rolling.
Keep going.
That first page is just a general, like, these are the pictures of the people. In case you don't know who we are, there's a picture of us, so you can be like, oh, that's that person. It's still got a Hawaiian shirt picture in there, so bear with me on that one. But, so that's kind of where we're at. On the bottom of that page, though, forms of communication. I just kind of want to throw out there how I'm going to communicate everything to you, how they're going to communicate everything to you. Will be email. I know email is annoying and old, but that's what we're going to use. We also have Band, which is an app that allows us to communicate, and it keeps an updated calendar. Because as you guys know, as life happens, sometimes the calendar changes. But that Band calendar, I try my best to keep absolutely accurate. So if any event gets canceled, any event gets changed, it'll be reflected on that Band calendar. So the only other thing we do is a text message system we do have. So I'll send out every once in a while a weekly text saying, hey, this thing is coming up, hey, this thing is whatever. If you want to be a recipient of that, it tends to be more high school focused. Like I'll usually send out like a reminder about youth group or whatever, but if you want to be a recipient of that, that's another way that we communicate. The other thing we always have is, this is new to this year, is our parent wall that Jen and I worked on together. It's across from the bathrooms, right outside the sanctuary. So on that wall will always be up-to-date flyers, calendars, that kind of stuff. So any event that's coming up, anything like that, you can always go there and there'll be a QR code or whatever you can scan to sign up for things. So that's the main way that I will communicate with you, that these guys will communicate with you as we kind of go through this process. Any questions on all that? Pretty straightforward. All right, cool. If you flip the page, there's a letter to the parents, and then on the next page after that, there's the purpose of confirmation. I'm not going to read through all that because I don't want to for you guys, and you guys don't want to have to hear me read all of it. So I encourage you, though, take a look at all that, read through it. It's good information for you guys to have. It kind of gets all of us on the same page of what confirmation is about, why we're doing this, and letter of encouragement to you guys. So I encourage you guys to read that on your own time. You don't want to hear me read that for the next 5 minutes. So the thing I want to look at is this confirmation expectations sheet. This is kind of the big thing that we want to make sure we're all on the same page for. So how this works is we have set it up where it's 12, 12, 6, 6. 12, 12, 6, 6. That's kind of how we've broken it down. The expectations are you come to 12 worship services, you do 12 sermon notes, you do 6 service projects, is kind of the term. Service events is kind of how we term it. And 6 fellowship events. That's kind of how we break it down. 12, 12, 6, 6. So how that's going to work is over a year. So it's not like in the next 6 months you got to do that. Over the year of confirmation, 201 and 301, it resets every year. So we expect that both years. That is the goal. So 6 or 12 worship services. That means just coming to church, and then we have the guest book in the aisle. You guys can just sign that, put your name on there. That way we have some kind of verification. But that is the first thing. 12 sermon notes. We always have sermon notes at the back of the sanctuary. We used to do online. I've gone to just hard copies, so you got to handwrite it and everything. But last year, a very generous member donated us some clipboards. So there's now a clipboard. It's very fancy. We're kind of high tech here. We don't mess around. So we got clipboards back there that you can use to do those sermon notes. And then you can just always try and either turn those into myself or you can turn them to these guys. But I keep your master list of how many sermon notes you've done. So make sure they get to me so I can have it.
How do they get to you?
How do they get to me? Either you can walk up to me and be like, here's my sermon note, and I'll be like, oh, thank you. Or you can always dump it on my door. My office is right across from the church office. So if you go down this hallway all the way to the end, my office is right there. There's a little folder. You can just plop them right in there, and I will count them on Mondays. So either one of those two options, either hand it directly to me or go put it in my office door, and that's how we'll kind of track it. Or if all else fails, you can always just hand it to them in confirmation class, and then they can.
But if you do that, I have to hand it back to him.
Yes. Add an extra step.
So every time there's an extra step, there's a chance it gets lost. Just saying.
That's right. That's the joy of hard copies. So that's kind of what that looks like. There's a form to it. Just go down the form, fill it out, boom. So any questions on those two things? Sermon notes, worship services. 12-12. All right, so service projects. How that kind of works is we do various service projects throughout the school year. My goal is for you guys to come to 6 of them. So we do all kinds of different things. We'll do a fall cleanup. We go out to the Women's Choice Center. We do a clothing swap. I think that actually is already full. Like a bunch of you guys already signed up for that one. So I might add a couple more slots in there. But we'll do a bunch of different service projects throughout the year. Lent dinners, Advent dinners, all that kind of stuff counts. If you do anything as an individual, so if any of you guys help with the nursery, if you guys set up the donuts and stuff for worship, if you help usher or something like that, let me know, because I don't necessarily know all those things that you guys are doing, but that does count. So if you help with the AV team, say, hey, Dalton, I helped with the AV team on such and such date, and I'll be like, sure, I got you. I'll put you down for 1. So the goal is to get to 6. We used to count hours. We don't count hours anymore. We count projects, events, whatever it is. 6 of those things over the year. So if you do 6 of them in the fall, great, you're done. You don't got to worry about it in the spring. If you wait till the spring and you do 6 of them then, great. I don't care. I just want to see you get 6. If you guys helped with VBS, helped with, even if it wasn't necessarily a VBS here, I still kind of count those. If you acolyted over the summer, let me know, because those count for those service projects. I think a good chunk of you guys actually already helped with VBS and acolyted over the summer, so you're at 3 of your 6, which means that you're already halfway done. So, good on you. So that's kind of what that looks like. Any questions on service projects? Yes?
Do they have to be just here?
Yes, that is something that I did change. If at all possible, it's through our Savior. Part of the goal is also to build community within the class of people hanging out and serving together. So that is part of it. It's either serving here in the church or you're serving with your fellow youth in some capacity. So, if at all possible. If you have a question on something that you did and you're like, in this count, just let me know. Yes, Reese.
On the paper, it says for VBS, like 6th graders help. Does it count for like all grades?
Yes, yeah, I think I think you probably need to change that because it really should say something. But yeah, so if you helped with VBS last summer, so it counts for the year you're going into, not for you can't pre-count it. But whatever year you're going into, you can say, hey, Dalton, I helped with that. So if you helped with VBS this summer, let me know, and I will put you down for 2. That counts for 2. Yes.
Assuming you've got a tally somewhere, right? So
Yes.
If they email you and say, hey, where are we at? You can.
Yes. Yes, which actually that's something that in a second here I'll get to. The fellowship events is just anything else. So we do fun events like the Progressive Dinner, Sunday School, teen nights that we do every month. Those count for those fellowship events. Those are just kind of fun events that we do every once in a while. That counts for that. So if you come to Sunday School, if you came to Sunday School from the first week till like mid-October, you'd be done with those 6 things because it just counts 1 every Sunday School class you come to. Boom, that's 1. Any questions on that? So that's like I said, it's 12, 12, 6, 6. 12 worship services, 12 sermon notes, 6 service projects, 6 fellowship events. Now,
just one thing about the sermon reports. If you just write down minimal amount of words like been there, Jesus, stuff, that doesn't count. Just telling you. So we'll give it back to you and say, nope, you have to give us another sermon report. So, just to make sure that that's clear right off the bat, all right?
Dalton, on the sermon notes, do they have to be done from a church service here, or if we're visiting somewhere else? Could we do it from that visit?
I would say, if at all possible, our Savior Lutheran Church service.
Considering every one of our services are live streamed at some point, there's no excuse to not be able to see a sermon or a worship service and get those details.
Now, ideally, we're doing those in person. So ideally, come to church, do your sermon note. If you're having issues with that, reach out to us and communicate, and we'll figure something out. We'll work with you guys. This is not like the end-all, be-all law that we're trying to beat you over the head with. In all honesty, these things are, I'm not trying to be like coming up with stuff and we're just trying to be mean about it or anything like that. These are things that I would expect of myself as a Christian. I would expect of any Christian. I would expect you to come to church. I'd expect you, I wish I did a better job of this, but my wife does a fabulous job of taking notes every single time she listens to a sermon. So, I would expect people to come to church, go to worship, serve in some capacity, and have fellowship with your fellow Christians. That's just something I would expect anybody to do, something I expect myself to do. So that's kind of where these come from. So, anyway, yes?
Well, I'll say too, what's helpful about taking sermon notes here is that Pastor Gary and I do the best we can to actually look at the sermon notes and kind of, we're evaluating as what we're saying, getting through at a 6th, 7th, 8th grade level, and we're making some adjustments. I'm like, did I really say that? That kind of thing. So
I have done that. I've looked at the sermon notes and I'm like, wow, I need to do a better job. I have seriously done that. So yeah.
So it gives us a chance to reflect back on how the kids are receiving and hearing and listening. We can't do that if it's at another, And again, it's only 12 a year, right? It's only 12.
Yes.
That's considering you have,
That's 3 months of worship.
yeah, on Sundays. And we have midweek services, Christmas, Lenten services, you've got Holy Week, you guys have probably, well, I would say at least 50 worship opportunities to be able to do sermon notes. Just within the school year, there's 50 of them, so 12. I used to have to do that every single week, just saying.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in
my day.
When we walked uphill, both ways.
Yeah. So any questions on all that? Real quick, like Eric was asking about the list. That was something we had a lot of times last year, was be like, I don't know where I'm at. So I figured out using AI. Like I said, we don't mess. We got clipboards, we got AI. What I was able to do is every month you will get an email from me that'll say, hey, this is where your kid is at on boom, 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 boom. So that'll be kind of how we update you guys. You can always email me and be like, hey, Dalton, where am I at? And I'll be like, this is where you're at. But every month you will get an email from me saying, hey, you have 24 sermon notes and you've overachieved massively, or whatever it is, and you'll just kind of go down the list and it'll say, hey, you did it, good job, thumbs up. So does that kind of answer any questions on that? That was one thing we did have an issue, so I think we've kind of fixed it, maybe. Other than that, that's kind of all with that stuff. The only other thing is the confirmation retreat, which is always the first weekend of October. It's October 3rd and 4th this year. So what that is an overnight stay at a local camp. We're going out to Great Oaks Camp, which is in Illinois. We're not going to Iodosika, so we're changing it up. But we're going to go out there, and it's just an overnight camp. We do some studies, we hang out, we play games, we go on zip lines and ropes courses and have a great time. It's a lot of fun, so that is the only thing that I will be kind of saying, hey, I need a RSVP from. The expectation is that you attend. That is our goal. We want to see everybody. Yes, both years. We want to see you come both years, if at all possible. So
Because it rotates what we're kind of covering from the study standpoint. So this year we're studying world religions.
yes,
And next year, it'll be the same as what we did the previous year, which is different Christian faiths. So this way, or denominations, different Christian denominations. So you're always getting something new in the 2 years you guys are in, Faith 201 and 301.
there you go. So, all right, I think that's everything on that, unless you guys got any questions on all that jazz. If you flip the page, the next page is assignments, just more kind of stuff. This is more class specific, so I'll let you guys kind of cover that whenever we split out into 301 and 21. But on the next page, there is a calendar. So this calendar is for everything that is relevant to you guys as 7th and 8th grade parents. So this is for any youth events you might want to try to make fit in your schedule, any service projects you might want to do. There will be more that'll come up as we kind of go along. Some things I just don't have dates and times for yet, just because I'm partnering with other organizations that don't have their stuff out yet. But all of that stuff will be, this is just your calendar for anything that youth event wise that's already scheduled. It also has the confirmation class calendar. So that is Wednesday nights, 6 to 7 p.m., pretty much every Wednesday besides Lent and Advent. So if you need the dates for that, so you can put it in your calendar, it's right there. If you do have a kid that is coming and they have a sibling that is in tween club or kids club or something like that, which is an hour and a half, 6 to 7:30, we do have anybody that wants to can come hang out in the gym. Usually by that point, I'm in there with the 5th and 6th graders playing the game, so they can always participate in that. Or if they want to sit in the youth room and eat snack food and chill out in there, that's cool too. Either option's fine with me. But there is something for youth men to do. They don't just like wander around the building for 30 minutes. Come hang out hang out in the gym or hang out in the FLC, whatever you want to do. That if you have that 30-minute in between where you're like, I don't know what to do with my child, I'll take them for 30 minutes. So that's what we've got going on there. So the only other thing is the confirmation banquet, rite of confirmation banquet, which is May 21st, 2027, which is bonkers. But that is when we will have the rite of confirmation and the confirmation banquet. So for Faith 301, 8th graders, that is your rite of confirmation. So, woo, yeah, you. For the 7th graders, that is the day that I will need a lot of your help running the confirmation banquet, because we have a lot of food and we feed a lot of people, and I need help doing it. So that will be a thing that I'll send out to you guys when we get closer. Either help setting up the banquet, or help feeding people, or help tearing down the banquet, whatever you want to do. Whatever floats your boat, you do it. So that is the only other thing on that calendar that I wanted to make sure you guys have. Other than that, the only other thing is, any questions on that before I keep going? I know I've been word vomiting at you guys for like 25 minutes now, so yay you. All right, last thing is the covenant, which is the very last page. This is just a restatement of everything we just talked about, just kind of saying, hey, this is the expectations, this is what that kind of says. Do I agree with it? Do I say I'm going to try and make it happen? If at all possible. Obviously, this is a church, we're talking about Jesus, so we're all about grace, so that's good. But make sure you just kind of look at this and say, hey, I'm going to put my name on it. I'm going to say, yep, I'm going to try and do that to the best of my abilities. We're going to say we're going to help and support you to the best of our abilities and help make that a possibility. And then we can just kind of say, okay, cool, we're on the same page then. So make sure you get that back to me. You can tear it off the staple there, and get that release form back to me at sometime within the next couple weeks. And then I will keep that in my files so that whenever we go to camp, we're good to go. Good deal? Any questions on all that? Yet again, I know I just word vomited at you for a long time, but any questions? You guys got anything you want to add on general stuff, and then we'll split out?
Good job.
Good deal. All right, so I think you guys wanted to have 301 go in there, 201 stay
Well,
here.
the 301 class is going to meet in the next room every Wednesday night, so why don't 301 parents go over there, and I'm gonna be a whopping 6 or 7 minutes at the most, so won't be keeping you too much more. I think
201 stays in here, because this is where we're gonna meet.
And that's the bigger class, so the bigger class is staying here, and